like, when I see stories like this, it pisses me off for a couple of reasons. I'd probably say that the front runner out of the two reasons that I can think of at the top of my head is probably the most obvious. And that is given where I live, you know, irrespective of where I want to travel, whether it's down to Edinburgh, Glasgow, anywhere down that way, I have to use the A9. But secondly, and I think there's a reason that seems to kind of go a bit unnoticed more often than not, and that is that, and it's the same principle that applies with other issues that are going on in Scotland at present. And you often hear these issues being referred to as crises, sorry, whether it's like homelessness or drug deaths, alcohol, etc. You know, like nobody's blaming the government per se for these issues. If somebody ends up homeless or jobless or a drug addict or an alcoholic or ends up sadly dead for whatever reason, it's not the government's fault per se. However, if the government are going to sort of insinuate that they are intending to rectify said issues, then they have to expect backlash from time to time, and they have to adopt, accountability, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Anyway, with that in mind, this is the BBC. Funding of A9 dueling project, a real concern, say MSPs. Of course, yeah. In the day and age where they're trying to get fucking people into public transportation, whether that be, trains or buses or even car sharing, we're expected to believe that they're going to duel the A9. Right. In a new report, a Holyrood committee said wrangles over funding had already significantly contributed to the original 2025 target being missed. Convener and Scottish Conservative MSP Wehat Jackson Carlo said there was no conspiracy to frustrate the road, but there had been a lack of scrutiny and focus. Transport Scotland said it welcomed the report by the citizen participation. I've done nothing again. Participation and Public Petitions Committee and would respond to its recommendations in due course. Okay. 2 sections of single carriageway totaling 11 miles of road have been upgraded over the past decade. 11 miles in a decade. Ain't that something to pat yourself on the back over? About 77 miles still to be done. Really? Yeah, it's fucking... It's an annoying road to drive down, to be honest. Like, the first section... when you leave Inverness and you start heading towards like Aviemore, it's okay. There's a couple of dual carriageways, but then there's like a good section where there's just nothing for ages. And I'm not entirely sure why so many crashes occur. I mean, the go-to answer would be impatience. I don't know. I mean, I get impatient on the road, but I don't get tempted to overtake and whatnot. But fucking hell. Anyway. Earlier this month, it emerged the total cost of upgrading a 6-mile section was expected to run to 308 million, 111 million more than originally estimated, and would ready later than previously hoped. Single carriageway sections are being dualled to improve journey times and safety. Are they? Aye. Aye. All 11 miles. In 2022, the number of fatalities on the Inverness to Perth stretch was 13, the highest number in 20 years. Do you know as well, though, like, see when you go over the Keswick Bridge, that part of the A9's worse. Like, from the Keswick Bridge towards John O'Groats, that bit's worse. In terms of, like, there's literally no overtaking lanes, there's no dual carriageways. Well, there is when you first come over the Keswick Bridge, but when you get to, can't remember the name of the roundabout. Oh, fuck. Regardless. After that, it's just, it's horrible. That's where you see impatience. Well, if you were in a car with me anyway. But regardless, I mean, I don't think the A9 is ever going to get duelled fully. And if it is ever to be duelled fully, it will not be in my lifetime. I just don't see it happening now. The committee wants procedures to be put in place to ensure problems faced by major projects are brought to light quickly, and a new committee to manage the duelling of the A9. Said committee also recommended that plans be made for a memorial to people killed on the road. Oh, yeah. Jesus, man. I don't know. Scottish Conservatives described the committee's report as damning. MSP Sue Webber said the A9 is the backbone of Scotland, and every day that these essential upgrades are delayed, more lives are put at risk and costs continue to skyrocket. Rural communities and businesses across Scotland need action from the SNP government, and they must finally fully dual the A9 between Perth and Inverness. Like, this is what I don't understand, though. There's an old A9 that you can still drive down. I think there's a few sections now that are kind of out of bounds. There's a bridge somewhere alongside old A9 where it's sort of out of commission for the time being. But I don't understand why it was never, when they built the new A9, why it was never just duelled to begin with. I really don't know. But I do struggle to believe that they have absolutely any intention whatsoever of actually duelling the A9. And I'm not dismissing some of the excuses in relation to expenses and whatnot. I understand all that. But this is like a project that they've been talking about for fucking years. You know? And as it stands, they've done absolutely fuck all, pardon my French. And it's very difficult to believe that they're being sincere. You know, you have to call into question their sincerity, you know, because these are the same people that to no end tell you and dictate to you that there's a climate emergency, etc. Like, I don't know. I find it hard to believe it. But again, just to sort of conclude, I think that if you're going to put yourself into a position where you're going to speak on matters such as the A9 in this instance, that you then have to expect people, society, the media, etc., to hold your feet to the fire. You know? But, yeah, fucking A9, eh? Really is an annoying road to drive up and down. Oh, I've driven up and down it multiple times, and it does my nothing. I hate it. But anyway, yeah. So ain't getting any dual carriageways anytime soon, boys. Yeah. Fuck's sake.